Thanks for meeting with me today. Really appreciated all the work you folks are doing. I want to go over the unit planning overview as you get prepared to do your unit plans from December 5th to December 16th. The first thing you're going to see in step one is the calendar. And this is the document I'll send out to you. And you and your mentor teacher will decide which days of those 2 weeks that you need to teach your unit. Remember to teach one lesson per day. So if you have to teach 2 units to do that, you can do that as well. So that's step one, the calendar. Step two, you're going to be looking at the curriculum and looking at overall expectations. So I've taken the expectations for moral communication in the language arts curriculum because we teach these all the time and we teach them in every subject area. So I've picked the first overall expectation, which is listen in order to understand and respond appropriately in a variety of situations for a variety of purposes. So that's what I'm going to be marking in my unit. You may have more than one overall expectation in your unit. I'm just giving you an example of what an overall expectation would look like. So you can have 2 or 3 at your choice, or 4. The next thing you're going to say, how am I going to teach that overall expectation by the specific expectation that I choose? And that's that word by. So I'm going to teach that by having the kids identify a range of purposes for listening in a variety of situations, formal and informal, and set goals appropriate to specific listening tasks. Remember, this is government language, and so we want to make it more user-friendly for the students. Where this goes on the form for your unit planner is specific expectations, overall expectations go in the graphic organizer. You can change the graphic organizer as long as you have that criteria in there. So as you saw on the graphic organizer, the next step is to take that specific and overall expectation and make it into a learning goal. So the learning goal usually starts with always at the end of, and this should not be lesson, at the end of this unit, students will be able to listen and have purposes for listening in different formal and informal situations. And you might be having decided to do 5 lessons on that, and the informal might be presentations from each child. The formal might be guest speakers, might be watching a TED Talk, whatever situations you want to include in your lessons. And so the idea is then they're going to do the learning goal of this. At the end of this unit, students will be able to listen, list purposes for listening in different informal and informal situations. And it might be also, the second learning goal might be to set goals for themselves in specific listening skills. And you might have more than 2 learning goals. And again, you write them in kid-friendly language. Some people feel comfortable enough to have the kids co-construct them with them. And they would go here on your unit planner. You put your unit goal, learning goals. Now you're going to the students and saying, how will you know that you are successful in this unit? So you write up the success criteria for the unit. You can do it with the students or you can do it ahead of time. And you always start with now the word I, because now the responsibility is on to the students, so that I can identify the purpose of listening to a guest speaker, a peer group's presentation, a video, and oral text. So you can see my 4 lessons, and you can see I'm being specific now in what they can do. And then the second one I've done is I can set goals for myself to listen. And that's very powerful in listening skills. Remember, the success criteria is I can. And then on the next piece, you will be looking up resources, etc., that you want to use. You might put in links to prior knowledge, talking to your mentor teacher about the unit that you're planning. And these are all jot notes that you put in. And then the culminating task is the next thing that you want to do, which is step 6. And the culminating task needs to, and we'll go back to what the overall learning goal was, and let me just find it here, which was to, I just had it here, so at the end of this unit, students will be able to list purposes for listening in different formal and informal situations, and they will be able to set goals for their listening skills. You want to be able to set up a accommodating task that shows that the students can do this, so they can show you they can do this. So your culminating task, I had chosen to do a choice of an oral presentation or a video. The students want to do. Always giving choice is very, very powerful. And allowing them to demonstrate how you or they listen in 3 situations to understand what they're listening to. So that would be my culminating task, so I can assess the fact that they are able to demonstrate the fact at the end of the unit that they'll be able to list purposes for listening in different formal and informal situations, and they can set goals for their listening skills. Step 7, and you'll notice on this sheet that the learning skills, we don't do that in our first unit planning in 3000. We'll do that in 4000. The next piece you do is your backward design for your lessons, for your unit. And what you'll be doing is jot notes on each lesson that you're going to be teaching in your unit. And in each one, you're going to put what the specific expectation is, the learning goal and success criteria, what assessment strategy you're going to be using, and how you're going to deliver the lesson. Minds on action, consolidation, debrief. You do this so when we look down at this unit plan, we're seeing that you're not using the same assessment tool. We're not using the same minds on, or the kids will get bored. That you're giving a variety. You're also, some people start with lesson 1 and go to lesson 10 or 5 or how many there are. Some people start at lesson 10 and go backwards to lesson 1. It's your choice how you write them, but they're jot notes. And that's all you're expected to write for your unit plan. And then the last step is, for your completed unit plan, is you will write the first 2 full lesson plans from your jot notes, and you write them in full according to our lesson plan type criteria. You only do the first 2 lesson plans because once you start to teach your unit, you may see that maybe I had lesson 3 here, but it won't work, so I've got to make it into lesson 4. So what you'll be doing is you'll be giving your lesson plans to your teacher, the first 2 lesson plans, and each day your mentor teacher will have input into what's happening, what will happen in the 3rd lesson, the 4th lesson, and how will they play out through your unit. Thank you.